good evening, and welcome back to my channel. I will be waiting for you guys to find out that I'm already online, and then I will be starting the discussion or the conversation. I think that's the right word. Anyway, welcome to our Motivational Monday, and our topic for tonight is the power of self-discipline. And once again, I will be waiting for you guys to pick up the notification. I was told that it's easier to pick up the notification when it's on Facebook Live instead of using a third-party platform. So there you go. I don't know what I'm gonna do first before you guys show up. I think my hair is really messy, but yeah. That's the least of my concerns today. Or maybe I'm just entertaining myself because there's no audience yet. Okay. Let me check if I'm already online so that... Oh, okay. I'm already online. Hi! Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening, sir. Ikaw pala yun. Bakit iba yung picture mo sa... Kasi maliliit na buttons lang siya dun sa taas. Yes, you're super back. Welcome, super back. Ay, nako, buti naman at na-recover mo na yan. Thank you. Thank you so much because you will be able to watch the live podcast. Tawag-tawa ako dyan sa tagline mo, I swear. So anyway, welcome to our audience, our live audience, and I'd also like to welcome those who will be watching this from replay. Thank you so much for dropping by. Hope you finish this conversation, and you can also share your comments, your thoughts, your experiences with regards to the power of self-discipline, because tonight we are going to be talking about the power of self-discipline and how can we really harness that power so that we can use it on our daily lives, especially in the workplace or even in our school or maybe in our personal lives. Kasi importante sa atin ang self-discipline. But before that, I'd also like to greet those who have been sending me messages because they are saying that they cannot finish the live podcast, but they are still watching the replay every now and then. So thank you for that. 2 months ako. Totoo, 2 months akong tawa ng tawa dyan sa tagline mo. Hello, Sir Aquino. Okay lang, maski di mo ayos ang buhok mo. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Actually, earlier this evening, I was talking to my staff and I was asking them if I should be cutting my hair, and they're saying, wag daw. So, sobrang haba na kasi haircut. Sobrang messy na. Anyway, so... thank you naman dyan, sir, sa comment niyo. I felt relieved and validated. Thank you. Ano to? Hello, Sir June Maroon. Thank you so much. Maray na banggi po sa Indo, sa Bicol region. Tama po? Bicol, di ba? Maray na banggi po sa Indo, Gabos dyan. Ang ganda mo lalo ngayon kamukha mo. Ba't si Bea naman ngayon? Parang gabi-gabi iba yung kamukha ko, ha? Ikaw na talaga yung president ng fans club o kaya chairman of the board. Anyway, I'm really happy because I received good news this Monday morning. Sorry. Tama, di ba? This Monday morning, I received very good news this morning, and not so good news naman in the middle of the day, pero at least nagsimula ako sa good news. So, hopefully makapag-share ako ng positive vibes tonight. And also, if you want to join this conversation, just join the conversation. We have no judgments in this podcast. You can share your thoughts, your comments. You can also disagree, diba? At some point, I mean, it's okay. We have to agree to disagree, right? So again, welcome to Motivational Monday. And to those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Irene. I'm a licensed real estate broker in the Philippines. I'm also a motivational speaker and a writer. And I do a lot of things in between, but according to my PR, for marketing purposes, tatlo lang yung pwede kong banggitin. Ano to? Bawi sa tagal na wala. Oo nga, dapat talaga bumawi ka kasi parang more than 1 week ka yatang absent. Okay, so let's start our discussion by talking about the definition of self-discipline. Parang feeling ko lakas ng boses ko. Feeling ko lang. So kung malakas po yung boses ko, pakihinaan na lang po yung volume kasi parang ang taas ng energy ko. Ganito talaga ang effect ng ganito talaga ang effect ng sobrang ano ba tawag doon? Parang nasobrahan ako ng protein drink. Ito yata yung effect, no? Ang dami kong nainom na protein drink this afternoon. Hello po, Miss Evie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you po. Magandang gabi po sa inyo sa North. Ayan. I think maraming nanonood from the North. Di po ba? Tama ba? Puro taga-North yung nanonood. Tapos may mga taga-South din. So anyway, ayan, simulan natin with our definition of self-discipline. This is coming from Mind Tools. According to the definition, it's the ability to push yourself forward, stay motivated, and take action regardless of how you're feeling physically or emotionally. So that's the definition. The ability to push yourself forward regardless of your current circumstances. So yun, wala kang pinipiling circumstance, basta kailangan mong, kung may kailangan kang gawin, you just have to do it. Okay, so that's self-discipline. When I was younger, I believe I've talked about this in a previous episode wherein I said the family that I was born into is actually headed by my grandfather, who was a soldier. And so we have a rather military, upbringing at home. So parang alam na alam ko yung chain of command. Obey first before you complain. Yan, yun yung mga tinuro sa amin noon. At saka, pag sinabing may kailangan kang gawin, kahit na inaantok ka, kahit pagod ka, kahit na masama yung pakiramdam mo, you really have to do it. Kasama doon, for example, yung pagdadasal. No? Unless talagang sobrang bedridden ka, hindi ka pwedeng sumali sa pagdadasal. Pero, kahit anong excuse mo, hindi po pwedeng mauna yung ibang bagay over sa pagdadasal or sa pagsisimba every Sunday. So I was brought up in that kind of family, and I realized that when I was younger, I really hated it. Yung talagang dapat 5 a.m. pa lang gising ka na, ganyan. Tapos 6 a.m. dapat nakapag-breakfast ka na, 6:30 dapat paalis ka na ng bahay because my school hour started at I think 7:30 when I was younger, or 8 maybe. Pero sobrang aga talaga namin sa school. Like, feeling ko, kami yung magbubukas ng gate. Ganun kami kaaga. Like, also, another reason maybe, ngayon na napag-isip-isip ko, well, now that I'm speaking about this, maybe one of the reasons also why my grandfather had to do that because everybody had to go to work. And so, walang maghahatid sa amin sa school. So, kaya talaga sobrang aga namin sa eskwelahan. But it was really like that, no? It was very routinary. It was very, discipline was always there. And kapag may ginawa ka, there was always punishment. And I realized that over the years, I grew to understand why discipline was as such when I was a kid. And when we were kids, no? Na-realize ko lang yung impact niya nung medyo matanda na ako. Nung past teenage years na ako, doon ko na-realize, kaya pala, ganito yung ginawa dati ng lolo namin, para sa amin, sa aming lahat, kasi eventually pala, kami din pala magbe-benefit from self-discipline. I remember, lahat nun, lahat may oras, kung anong dapat mong gawin sa ganitong oras, parang merong time and motion, ano yung dapat hindi mo sabihin, ano yung hindi mo dapat gawin, ano yung pwede mong gawin, yung kasama dun yung you don't talk when you're not being talked to, ganyan. Of course, ngayon, ibang-iba na yung perspective ko. Pero, because, syempre, nag-iba na rin. Nagkaroon na rin ako ng sarili kong personality. But when I was a kid, that was how it worked. And so, I realized that when we were kids, it was very strict. It was very, 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 very strict. Hindi ko ma-describe yung superlative level niya. But it was really strict. When I was a kid. And then, eventually, madadala mo pala siya. Self-discipline, dun mo ma-realize na lahat ng mga ginagawa mo ngayon, rooted pala siya from your childhood. So, if you had a really good discipline when you were a kid, madadala mo rin siya eventually when you grow older. discipline is one of the advantages of learning self-discipline as early as when you were a child is hindi ka na mahihirapan mag-adjust kapag medyo nasa mahigpit kang environment, kapag mataas yung pressure sa environment mo or sa paligid mo. Kasi nga, nasanay ka na sa pressure. Unlike pag lumaki ka sa talagang, sa sobrang liberal naman na upbringing. I mean, I'm not saying that it's wrong or right or there's a better way, but you learn whatever you learn when you were a kid, madadala mo siya when you're already older. Okay, before I proceed to the importance of self-discipline, let me just read some of the comments. Oh, hello Ma'am Cherry. Thank you so much for tuning in po. Self-discipline pag lahat para pareho ng mindset sa disiplina, we will have a better place to live in. That's so true. That's so true. Hi Pao, nandiyan ka. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so the importance of self-discipline, simulan natin. Oops, nag-lock yung phone ko. Simulan natin sa stability. Again, self-discipline is the ability to push yourself forward regardless of your circumstances. So, the first importance of self-discipline is that you're stable. You will not crash and burn every now and then. You will not lose yourself when you are going through things. Kasi alam mo na mag-move forward ka no matter your circumstances. Thank you so much po. Nakikita ko yung mga hearts nag-blink-blink. Thank you for the hearts. Although hindi ko nakikita kung sino nagsisend, pero thank you so much. You can post your comments. You can post where you're watching from. If you don't want to share your experiences, okay lang din. Again, this podcast episode is for you. So if you want to join the conversation, if you have comments, if you have reactions, post them on the comment section. Okay, next is it strengthens your mental health. Kasi self-discipline is really mental. If you are going through a tough phase in your life, it also strengthens your mental health. Kasi ang mental health kasi natin, parang ano rin yan parang physical health din natin. We really have to do constant exercising. And the exercise natin, yung mental health natin, kapag meron tayong self-discipline, we don't cross borders when we don't have to. Discipline means respect. Yes. Okay, it also improves your work ethic. Kasi 'di ba, I don't intend to criticize anyone, but this is just my observation. I've been in the workplace for 16 years now. Tama ba? Nagbibilang ako lagi kung ilang taon na ako sa workplace. So, I have been working for, let's just say, more than 10 years. Okay. So, sa more than 10 years na yan, I've worked with so many people that, because I work with so many companies, I work with so many people, and I've also worked with so many people coming from different ages. And makikita mo talaga, somehow, I realized what my lola was saying when we were kids, when she was still alive. Sabi niya, malalaman mo naman kagad kung ano yung upbringing ng mga tao base lang sa ugali nila or sa behavior nila towards their work. And when I was younger, I didn't really understand that until such time that I had to work. And then doon ko na-realize na, okay, yung work ethic talaga natin it's affected by our upbringing. Kasi magkakaiba ng pinaniniwalaan, magkakaiba rin syempre yung ugali natin. Kasi nga, syempre magkakaiba kayo ng pinaniniwalaan. Magkakaiba kayo ng values, magkakaiba kayo ng environmental conditions, then definitely it also affects you as a person. So it also affects your work ethics. So kung bata ka pa lang na-experience mo na yung discipline, then madadala mo din siya pag tanda mo. Okay? Next is to achieve your goals. Okay, simple. Ito ha. Kaya nga natatawa ako nung kasama itong self-discipline talaga. Sabi ko sa team ko, I'm not sure if I'm the right person to talk about discipline, but I'll do my best, okay? So sabi ko, when I want to achieve a goal, okay, when someone wants to achieve a goal, there has to be self-discipline. Pero simplehan lang natin. Ito, lagi ko itong naririnig, lalong-lalo na sa mga kaedad ko. Ang hirap magpapayat. Pero hanggang salita lang din naman tayo, kasama ako doon. Hindi ako nag-exercise ng ganun-ganun lang. Laging kailangan ng maraming motivation para mag-exercise. Lalo na ngayon, hindi pwedeng lumabas. Parang, okay, anong gagawin ko? Parang I always come up with excuses. And yet, I have a goal of, not weighing beyond my limits. Kasi pag sumobra ako sa timbang, merong hindi masyadong magandang effect yun sa katawan nating lahat. I mean, not only with my health, but with everyone. So, we have to stay within our acceptable weight, 'di ba? Pero wala naman tayong ginagawa para 'di ba? Para magbawas tayo ng timbang, or wala din naman tayong ginagawa para hindi madagdagan yung timbang natin. Okay lang sana kung hindi ka nagbabawas, pero ganun din hindi ka rin naman gumagawa ng paraan para hindi magdagdag. Okay lang sana hindi ka nagbabawas, pero sana wag ka nang magdagdag. Pero ganun pa rin, di ba? That's why self-discipline is important, because if you have self-discipline, you know that when you have reached a certain limit, you should stop. Okay? Next, basahin natin to. Simpleng disiplina, pasantabi, pusa nagyoyosi. Okay lang na magyosi, pero sana po yung mga cigarette butts itapon sa basurahan. Hindi yung itatapon lang kung saan-saan. Basic. Tara, exercise, jogging versus tara, kain Jollibee. Ouch. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Tawan-tawa talaga ako sa tagline mo to for the next 2 months. 2 months ako tatawa sa mga podcast ko. Sir Lim Hoko, good evening po. Iyan, sabi ko na kung merong mga taga-North or mga taga-South. Hello po, Sir Lim Hoko. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. So, discipline. Yan sa mga simpleng bagay lang. It helps us achieve our goals. Self-discipline helps us achieve our goals. And yet, marami pa rin sa atin, di ba? Ayaw pa rin gawin yung mga dapat gawin kasi mas nakafocus tayo sa goals, hindi doon sa process. Okay. Also, we have stronger self-control when we have self-discipline. Di ba? Pagka may disiplina ka, alam mo kung, di ba, I've already said this. Parang, alam natin yung mga limits natin. Next is, another thing is character development. Now, self-discipline is important because it is also how we develop our characters. And as I mentioned earlier, ang gusto kasi nating mangyari is marami tayong goals, okay? Marami tayong goals. Pero ayaw natin mag-level up by developing our characters. And one of the ways to develop our characters is really strengthening your self-discipline. Pag sinabing gusto mo ma-achieve tong goal na to, meron kang sacrifices that you have to do. Okay? We are just so focused on achieving our goals that we actually forget that we have to sacrifice something. For example, when I was younger, I started working right after college, like siguro 3 days after college or 2 days after college, I was already working. And pag sinabing may target, hindi talaga ako matutulog hanggang hindi ko na-hit yung target na yon. Kasi kung gusto mo talagang ma-hit yung mga targets mo, meron siyang katumbas ng sakripisyo. Okay, hindi naman puro goal lang ng goal. Parang 'di ba, speaking of self-discipline, na recently concluded na yung Olympics. Okay? Simple, kagaya kay Heidelin, di ba? She said that it took her 14 years to be able to get that gold medal. Just imagine for how long na grabe yung self-discipline na pinapractice niya sa sarili niya. She has to. She has to have that. Otherwise, she won't be able to make it to the Olympics. Just imagine kung ilang only rice ang tinanggihan niya, ilang gimmick nights ang tinanggihan niya, ilang mga personal occasions ang kailangan niyang ma-miss because she has to attend her practice, her exercise. Ang dami niyang kailangan i-sacrifice. So, ganun din naman tayo. But the problem with us is that we are so obsessed with achieving our goals that we forget that we need to give up something so that we can gain something better. Ganun siya lagi. Hindi po pwede na puro ka lang get ng get. You have to give something in order to get something. And when I say that you have to give up something, it's actually a part of the sacrifice. Okay? Next is, Another importance of self-discipline is that it makes you keep your promises to yourself and to other people. Promises, ayan. Yung promises, baka sabihin nyo naman, humuhugot na naman ako, may mag-PM na naman sa akin mamaya. Hindi to hugot. Masayang-masaya ako sa buhay ko. Okay, so, when we are talking about keeping your promise, kasi ang mga taong walang disiplina, sila talagang hindi nakaka-keep ng promises nila. Diba? And again, I'm not saying this because I am flawless. I'm saying this because I'm also flawed. And I know exactly what it feels like to say a promise and not keep it, or to be promised and not keep it. Alam ko pareho eh. May nangako sa akin, hindi tinupad. Tas ako rin, nangako ako pero hindi ko tinupad. Ganun talaga. We are humans. And so that's why it's important to have self-discipline so that we will be able to keep our promises, not only for ourselves, but also for other people. Okay, another importance of self-discipline is that we will be able to make better decisions. Kasi nga, meron kang discipline sa sarili, so mas maganda yung decision-making skills mo. And also, another importance of self-discipline is hindi ka marupok. You have a stronger resistance to temptation because again, you know what you want and you know what you have to give up on. And when you know all these things and then you do action, you act on them, and then that makes you a self-disciplined person, diba? So, there. Wait, let's greet our audience again. Hi, Dad! Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Sir Jimmy. Good evening po. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Sir... Hello, Coach! Coach, ikaw nanonood ka rin pala paminsan-minsan. Thank you for tuning in. Invite kita Invite kita. O, yan, live akong nag-i-invite sa'yo, Coach. And Coach Jeff, by the way, the one in the audience, I can see his comment here. Okay, Coach Jeff, speaking of self-discipline, si Coach Jeff talaga ang isa sa mga tao, sobrang OA talaga yung discipline na meron siya. Kasi talagang grabe yung focus niya pagdating sa fitness, physical fitness. And I am one of his students. And sobrang dami kong natutunan sa kanya. Kaya if you are looking for a physical fitness trainer, please click his name. That's Jeffrey Arabit. Ayan, andyan siya sa audience ngayon. Thank you, Coach, for tuning in. Huwag ka na mahiya magsalita. Hindi naman tungkol sa buhay mo yung tatanong natin. Tungkol naman sa physical fitness. Okay. Pero talaga, sobrang saludo ako dyan kay Coach Jeff. He's the best trainer I ever had. Sobrang thank you talaga. Ang dami kong natutunan kay Coach Jeff pagdating sa physical fitness and his passion for physical fitness. It's really over the top. Kaya kung naghahanap kayo ng trainer, PM him now. And si Coach Jeffrey Arabit. Okay. Kaya siguro natatawa ka, Coach. Ako talaga yung nagsasalita tungkol sa self-discipline. Pero alam to ni Coach, yung tawag doon, training ethic ko nung nagjo-gym pa ako kasama niya. Kasi siya talaga yung nagmo-motivate sa akin. Sabi niya, 5 na lang, 5 counts na lang. Tapos pagtapos na yung 5 counts, another 5. Grabe. Okay, anyway, how do we build self-discipline? Ito yung kailangan nating marinig. Actually, I was telling myself after this podcast episode, I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna bookmark this because I also need several reminders every single day to have self-discipline. Kasi lahat ng ginagawa natin, ang laking bagay kapag meron kang self-discipline. So how do we really build self-discipline, or how do we harness the power of self-discipline? Let's start. We have to focus on the goal. The first one is to focus on the goal. We've mentioned this in another podcast episode, how to say no. And when we say we are focusing on the goal, we have to say no to a lot of things. And I remember in one of Steve Jobs' speeches in the past, sabi niya, focus is saying no to 10,000 things. Sana tama yung pagkaka-quote ko sa kanya. Sabi ko, bakit kaya ganun? Bakit ka mag-no sa 10,000 10,000 things. Kaya kung mapapansin niyo, 'di ba, si Apple, when it was still Steve Jobs, wala silang ibang binibuild kundi si Apple lang talaga. 'Di ba? Puro ano lang talaga 'yon. Puro naka-focus lang talaga sa mobile and sa sa ano ba tawag doon? Sa computers. That's it. Naka-focus lang talaga sila doon. They have to decline so many things, so many business opportunities because according to Steve Jobs, focus is learning how to say no to 10,000 opportunities. Kasi nga naman, paano mo mabibuild yung isang bagay kung parang niyeyes mo lahat? So you have to focus on your goal. So simplehan natin, kahit sa, ano 'di ba, kahit sa simpleng pagpapapayat lang, okay lang naman kung ayaw mo mag-exercise. Pero ang tanong doon, ano pa ang iba mong ginagawa bukod sa nagra-random diet ka or whatever? Ano pa ba yung iba mong ginagawa? Okay lang hindi ka nagbabawas. Pero ang tanong, baka naman, nagdadagdag ka pa rin. Hindi ka na nga nakakapagbawas, nagdadagdag ka pa rin ng timbang. So that's a very simple example. But for example naman, sa workplace, what's your goal? And I mentioned this in another podcast episode. Kaya manood kayo ng ibang podcast episode. Kasi may yung iba, mga interconnected dito sa sinasabi ko. Kung may goal ka sa workplace, kung gusto mo ma-promote, gusto mo magkaroon ng higher position, gusto mo magkaroon ng higher salary, what's your goal? For the next 3 months, for the next 6 months, for the next 12 months, stop telling yourself that there's pandemic kaya hindi ka nagpe-perform. That's the worst excuse ever. Because you know what? At this moment, while you are complaining, a lot of people are succeeding. And the pandemic is not unique to you. Hindi lang ikaw nakaka-experience ng pandemic. Ang dami-daming tao sa buong mundo na experience yung pandemic. So stop making the pandemic as an excuse not to be successful. And syempre, ang excuse na sinasabi naman natin is yung valid na excuse eh. For example, nagka-COVID ka, hindi ka nakapag-work, syempre valid excuse 'yon. Pero kung normal ka naman, healthy ka naman, and you are saying that the pandemic is the cause why you are not performing or why you are not succeeding, then there must be something wrong with your focus. You have to readjust your focus. Focus on what you can do instead of focusing on what you cannot do. Kasi there's a big difference to that. Okay, next is to celebrate small wins. And I remember the CEO of Consultation Global, sabi niya sa akin last time, there is no such thing as a small win. Because I was whining about my small win. And sabi niya sa akin, you know what, Ivy? I don't think there are small wins. And I was like puzzled when she said that. I was like, what do you mean, ma'am? Why don't we have small wins? So I was thinking at the back of my head, I was like, dapat big wins lang talaga sineselebrate. Sabi niya sa akin, no, because you never know what small means to other people. Baka sa kanila small yon, pero sa'yo, na ikaw yung nag-effort, ikaw yung nagtiyaga, ikaw yung naglagay ng lahat ng lakas, lahat ng energy and effort mo, ng time mo, in-exert mo dyan, there is no such thing as a small win. Everything is a win. Period. I was like, yung palang ibig sabihin nun. Kasi minsan sinasabi natin, we don't celebrate that. That's, maliit na bagay, di ba? Naririnig ko yan recently. Naku, maliit na bagay lang yan. But you know what? When you are succeeding or when you are winning, you have to celebrate everything. Why? Because what may mean small to other people may already mean big to you. Kasi nga, parang yung narinig ko last time, naku, nagbuhat lang, gold medalist na. Oy, hindi ninyo alam kung paano siya nakarating dun sa pagbubuhat na yon. Kung anong klaseng sakripisyo ang pinagdaanan niya para lang mabuhat niya yung 200 plus pounds, right? 220 pounds yata yun. So just imagine, parang nag-compute nga ako, oh my God, parang 4 na Ivorine yung binuhat ni Heidi Lin. That's a lot of weight. Diba? So, remember, there is no such thing as small wins. So, celebrate all the wins that you have, no matter how small they are. Okay, with regards to discipline. So, for example, hindi ka kumain ng sweets in a day, di ba? Small win na yun. So, kaya lang bumawi ng gabi, di ganun pa rin. Okay, so, dapat i-celebrate mo yung mga wins mo on a daily basis. Huwag kang mag-antay ng mga ingranding mga celebration. I mean, recently, because of the pandemic, parang every day is a celebration. Okay, let's read comments. From Sir Joseph, learn when to say yes and know when to say no. That's true. Alan, uy, hi! Hi, Alan, you're there pala. Hi! Launch my website, girl. Hi. Thank you for tuning in. Uy, dapat pala mag-guest ka rin dito. Invite kita. Thank you for the support. Okay. Next is, there's this quote, don't run before you can walk. What does this mean? Set small goals. Naalala ko, I think Coach Jeff is still there. He told me, kasi sabi ko, ito yung goal ko. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, sige, we'll start with, little steps muna tayo. Mga muna tayo, medyo madadali because I cannot really move my back because I had an accident several years ago. So, hindi ko pwedeng, marami akong restrictions when it comes to movement. So, sabi niya, sige, let's work on it. Pero, unti-untiin lang natin yung mga movements na pwede mong gawin sa loob ng gym. And so, each time na mabibit ko yung sinasabi niyang count, sineselebrate ko yun, tuwang-tuwa kami. Parang, because I was also working with other family members. So, natatawa talaga ako. Ba't di ko na sabihin? Oo, seryoso. Wow, thank you. So, don't run before you can walk. So, start small. Ang problema naman kasi madalas sa atin is parang aim high lagi tayo. I mean, there's no problem with that. Aiming high, obviously, when you're aiming, you have to aim high. But remember, ang karugtong ng aim high is shoot low. Ibig sabihin, mataas yung goals mo, pero magsimula ka muna sa maliliit na steps. Kasi hindi ka naman pwede mag-aim na gusto mo, for example, when you're using numbers, no, ang gusto mo lang ma-achieve 1. Hello, edi sana hindi ka na nag-goal. Siyempre, mag-goal ka, parang ako, napaka-ambitious ko talaga. Like, if I will be having a goal, it's always 100. So, kahit nasa 0 ako nagsimula, my goal is always 100. Kasi, ang point ko doon, ibig sabihin, kahit na hindi ko ma-achieve yung 100 na yon, kung nag-start ako from scratch, whatever movement I do, it brought me to 1, 2, or even 5, or even 10. Minsan nga naabot ko hanggang 50. Why? Because I was aiming for 100. Kung mag-miss ako doon, di ba sabi nila, aim for the stars, di ba? And then, if you fail, at least you hit the clouds. Tama ba? Kung ano nung pa nagsasabi ko. Ayan, Lunes na Lunes, parang sabaw na sabaw naman ako. But yeah, at least you're getting what I'm saying. Kahit na hindi mo na-achieve yung sobrang taas na pangarap mo, well, at least you tried up until your last breath. Yun lang lagi kong sabi. I'll do my best, I have to win, or at least I'll die trying. So, always do your best to try. Ano to? Not only try pala, always do your best to do things. Ano to? Ambisyosong froglet na. Oo, totoo yan. Hello, Sir Alexis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. Next is routine. Dapat magkaroon ka ng routine. Okay, dahil nga lockdown, I actually posted earlier this morning, I posted, what are you doing or what's your favorite thing to do during lockdown? And maraming comment. I mean, that's on my personal Facebook page. I was like, ano ba ang mga pwede kong gawin during the lockdown? Because obviously, you can't go out. At least in Metro Manila, I'm not sure outside of Metro Manila. But in Metro Manila, we are on lockdown. So, we will be released by August 21st. Kasi hanggang August 20th yung lockdown natin. So, ibig sabihin namin dito. Hindi ko alam kung sino mga nanonood ng taga Metro Manila. So, anyway. Dahil dyan, parang ang dami mo na namang hindi pwedeng gawin. So, we have to focus on what we can do, right? So, magkaroon tayo ng routine. Last year, ang ginagawa ko every single day for 2 months kasi yun di ba, yung lockdown. Every day, I would still wake up at 6 in the morning, work out at 6:30 in the morning, have breakfast at 8 in the morning, and then start working at 9 in the morning, hindi ko binago yung routine ko. Para pagbalik ko sa work, after ng lockdown, pagbalik ko sa work, same pa rin yung pattern ko. Same pa rin yung sleeping patterns ko. Same pa rin yung ginagawa ko. Even during the lockdown. Okay, mas chill nga lang pagdating sa mga gawain. Kasi nga, syempre, marami kang hindi pwedeng gawin. Pero, I focused more on what I can do for myself and what I can also do for other people while we are all on lockdown. Yung disiplina everyday, need natin ma-practice sa araw-araw na ginagawa natin kapag hindi napapahama ka. That's true. Okay, another thing is to be aware of self-sabotaging behaviors. We talked about this, was it last week? Tama, diba? Random Thursday, we talked about self-sabotaging behaviors. Self-discipline is also one of the answers to self-sabotaging behaviors. So, please also check that out, yung Conquering Self-Sabotage. Oh, sorry, that was Wednesday pala last week kasi Empowerment Wednesdays. So, you can also check that episode out, how to conquer self-sabotaging behaviors. That's, one of those self-sabotaging behaviors is excessively criticizing yourself. And that's not a good sign, right? And to be able to conquer that, you can also practice self-discipline. Kasi, di ba, pagkakausap natin sarili natin, kung ano-anong panlalait ang sinasabi natin sa sarili natin. But when we have self-discipline, we know our limits. So we don't really have to criticize ourselves because we already know which part of ourselves should we develop. Next is, think about the consequences of your decisions. Okay. I don't know if I've already talked about decision making in any of our podcast episodes. Pero I'd just like to share with you that our decisions should always be based on logic instead of emotions. Oh yeah, I think I talked about this. Yung emotion-based thinking and feeling-based thinking. Logic-based thinking. I think I've already talked about that nga pala. I already talked about that in a previous episode, emotion versus logic. And when we are deciding, we should know, yan yung sinabi ko, decisions araw-araw. Yes, that's true. Okay. So when we are thinking of decisions to make, we should always base our decisions on logic and also what are the possible consequences of our actions. And when we are building self-discipline, syempre ganito yon. Kung hindi mo alagaan yung sarili mo, what are the consequences? So you decide to be healthy. Because if you don't take care of your health, what will happen to you? And at the end of the day, you're gonna be the one to suffer from your lack of concern for your body. Okay, so kung inaalagaan ninyo yung mga cellphones ninyo, gumagastos kayo ng mahal para sa mga gadgets ninyo, gumastos din kayo ng mahal para alagaan yung sarili ninyo. Kahit nga hindi sobrang mahal, basta alagaan ninyo yung sarili ninyo, period. Okay, and also, be okay with being uncomfortable. We mentioned this last time as well, that of course, when we are comfortable, we tend to be relaxed, we tend to be lenient, we tend to be, parang nagpapabaya tayo. Okay, nagpapabaya tayo because we are already so comfortable. But when we want to achieve greater heights, we really have to feel uncomfortable. And that's okay. Because for as long as you have self-discipline, and when you're building self-discipline, talagang mahirap siya at first. Marami kang kailangang i-sacrifice. But to be able to achieve your goals, you really have to let go of the things that are bringing you down. And if those things that are bringing you down are things na pwede mo namang i-let go mo na. Kasi hindi ka mag-move forward kung hindi mo i-let go yung mga yan. And one of those is not only, it's not only yung mga negative na feelings na meron ka. Kasama din mga tao. Kung yung mga tao sa paligid mo hindi nakakatulong sa pag-develop mo as a better person, you have to let go of these people. But again, take it with a grain of salt. This is a very generic advice. But if those people around you are not helping you out, hindi sila nakakatulong para maging mabuti kang tao, hindi sila nakakatulong para gumanda yung buhay mo, then maybe it's about time to assess why are you still keeping those people in your life. Okay? And ito yung sasabihin ko, no? It's okay to let go of people. Okay. It's okay to let go of those people. If they're hurting you, if they're making you feel unloved, if they're not worthy to be loved, and if they make you feel insignificant, these are not the people who will be able to help you out as you move forward with your life. So, yeah. Again, take it with a grain of salt. Sinasabi ko lang na i-let go ninyo yung mga nag-weigh down sa inyo. Not only feelings, but also people who are bringing you down. And syempre, self-discipline. Ano pa ba ang iba pang way para improve yung self-discipline mo? Syempre, avoid distractions. At sinabi ko rin to sa previous podcast episodes ko na kapag gusto mo talagang ma-achieve yung mga goals mo, ikaw na mismo yung umiwas sa temptation. So, kung ang goal mo is pumayat, yan, simpleng-simple, kung gusto mong pumayat, di ba, edi magbawas ka ng sugar intake mo. Kasi grabe yung sugar intake, di ba? Grabe yung sugar intake mo, mas mabilis kang mag-gain ng weight and at the same time, nagiging prone ka sa mga infections. So, let go mo yung sweets. Kahit hindi totally, di ba? Kasi, ako, sobrang fan ako ng sweets. Nakikita siguro nyo sa mga post ko, ang hilig ko sa sweets. Pero syempre, don't overindulge. Pag nakatikim ka na ng sweets, okay na yan, di ba? Para ma-preserve natin yung mga katawan natin. At tumanda naman tayong healthy, di ba? Disiplina, malapit na ang eleksyon. Siguro number 1 yan, Number 1 yan sa motto, tagline ng mga politiko, kasama disiplina, pero sana walk the talk. Uy, political post, I will not comment on that. Ay, hello, Sir Engineer tuloy. Hello, Engineer Ariel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mas bagay mo yung simple ka lang na ganyan. Thank you po. Thank you. Ayan, ilaw lang ang puhunan pa lang. Ganang ilaw dito. I love it. Oh. Mukha akong glow in the dark. Ayan. Okay, so those are the tips on how to build self-discipline. Focus on the goal. Celebrate wins. Don't run before you can walk. You have to set small goals. You have to build a routine. You have to be aware of your self-sabotaging behaviors. You have to think about the consequences of your decisions. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable, and you have to avoid distractions. Okay, so those are the tips on how to build self-discipline. I hope you learned something from those tips. But anyway, my final words would be, whatever you want to do, it may be difficult, but it's never impossible. So the key from going from point A to point B, kung paano mo ma-achieve yung distance na yon from point A to point B, one of the strongest factors from getting from one place to another is self-discipline. And, well, sabi ko nga, I'm already very blunt about it. I'm not an ideal role model when it comes to self-discipline kasi marami din akong nababiolate ng mga rules ng mga doktor ko, bawal kainin ganito, ganyan. Pero again, do not give up on yourself. You can always make yourself better, do better decisions, ganyan. Kasi, di ba, as we grow older, actually, you will realize na talagang may mga bagay na hindi mo na talaga dapat gawin. Lalong-lalo na yung mga kinakain natin on a daily basis. We have to be mindful of those. So, lalong-lalo na ngayon na mayroong pandemic, diba? Let's stay focused. Let's also stay healthy. And again, remember what's your goal. Always focus on the goal. Kasi pag alam mo kung ano yung goal mo, you will never be astray. Kung ang goal mo is that particular goal, focus on it and do everything to achieve it. Kasi I'm telling you this, whatever it is that you want to achieve, you can make it happen. Oo, mahirap siya. Hindi ko na i-sugarcoat yan. Mahirap yan. Kung ano man yung naiisip mong goal na yan, mahirap yan. Sinasabi ko na yan para hindi mo na maging excuse, para hindi mo gawin yung mga dapat mong gawin. Oo, mahirap talaga yan. Hindi ko siya sugarcoat. Lahat ng mga goals na na-achieve ko sa buhay ko, parang feeling ko, iniyakan ko ng dugo. lahat ng goals natin, may katumbas na sakripisyo yan. Pero at the end of the day, once na ma-achieve mo yung goal na yan, every single sacrifice is worth it. So, ang tanong ko sa inyo ngayon, before you go to sleep tonight, it's really not so much about self-discipline, but my question is, are you willing to make that sacrifice to achieve your goal? Or are you still going to make excuses why you can't make them happen? Every single day, the choice is yours. And every single goal, it's always yours. Now, the question is, are you willing to make it happen? Or are you gonna make another excuse not to? This is Irene once again, and thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thank you. Parang alam niyo mas maraming nanonood talaga pag direct ako sa FB Live. Thank you so much for making me a part of your night again. Alam naman niyo every 8 PM meron tayong session. Pero if you have suggested topics, please let me know so that we can find a speaker, or I can also talk about it if I can talk about it, 'di ba? Kasi yung iba yung mga suggested topics naman mga pang medical practitioner, syempre hindi ko naman pwedeng hindi ko pwedeng i-discuss 'yun, 'di ba? Okay, so that's it for tonight. See you again tomorrow. I think the topic for tonight, for tomorrow night. I'm not sure about it because I think I missed looking at the calendar. Pero every single night sa mga bagong nanonood po, from Mondays to Saturdays, we have every 8 PM we have different topics. And we have different themes every single night. So, browse nyo na lang po yung mga previous podcast episodes if you believe na meron kayong time, or pwede naman i-on lang ninyo at pakinggan lang ninyo, pwede rin. And we are already uploading some of the videos to YouTube as well. So if you can visit YouTube, please show your support then. Or also for this video, if you feel that this video has helped you out, you can also share it. You never know kung sino yung matutulungan natin by simply just sharing this video. So again, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really, really grateful. And I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate our medalists, or Olympic medalists, proud to be Filipino. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Ano ba tawag nito? Si Heidelin lalong-lalo na ang pinakaunang gold medalist natin sa Olympics. So I'm really proud of you, Heidelin, and to all our athletes at sa mga aspiring athletes dyan. Remember this, you will not be able to achieve it na kagaya nila without self-discipline. And even if you're not an athlete, you can make it happen. Just have self-discipline. Thank you everyone. Good night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you all. Bye!